Have you ever experienced unanswered prayer before? I'm very sure the majority of us have. And if we want to be very honest, unanswered prayer has had some very painful effects on us. But we have to remember the purpose of prayer. Prayer is meant to be answered. Otherwise, God would not have asked us to pray. He doesn't want us to waste our time like that. So the real issue, or rather the real question is, if God has designed prayer to be answered, then what is up with unanswered prayer? So let's define the term unanswered real quick. Let's say you call somebody and it rings and it rings and it rings and it goes to voicemail. That's your call being unanswered. Let's say you send a text message. Seconds go by, minutes go by, hours go by, days go by. You receive nothing in response to your text. That is your text message going unanswered. So let's apply this to prayer. You pray and you pray and you pray. You need God to come through. You need God to work a miracle. You need God to move on somebody's behalf. And yet you receive nothing. You hear nothing. You see nothing. You sense nothing. You see nothing happening in response to your prayer. That is unanswered prayer. But if you really think about it, if you go back to His word, true unanswered prayer goes against the nature of God and goes against the whole purpose of prayer. Because again, prayer is meant to be answered. So if you ever really truly experience unanswered prayer, that indicates that something is wrong. Because again, God wants to answer your prayers. So let me make this point a little bit more clear. Let's say, for instance, you have a child and you bought him or her a gift. It's a toy. And this toy came with some very specific instructions on how to put it together, how to assemble it, some very important do's and don'ts. But you don't bother with the instructions because it doesn't seem that complicated. It seems very simple. It don't take all that. Easy peasy. So you put it all together. You finally have it done. Your child is excited. You're excited. You put the batteries in or you plug it in and then you switch it on and nothing happens. You switch it on and off again. Nothing happens. So you kind of take a deep sigh and you realize you may have to go back to the instructions. You may have missed some things. Let's put this back to prayer. If you truly receive unanswered prayer, that indicates that something is a bit off and you may need to adjust accordingly. Again, repeating myself, prayer is meant to be answered. But let's say that truly nothing is wrong. Nothing is off. You prayed and prayed and you prayed accordingly and you've truly done what you're supposed to do. But yet you hear nothing from God. So the next question is your prayer really unanswered? Has it ever occurred to you that yes is not the only answer that you can receive? No. Nobody likes to hear the word no. We've hated that word ever since we were infants, when we really realized and it dawned on us what the word no really meant. But we have to realize and accept that no is an answer. So why would God tell you no to what you've been praying for? Let's go back to our childhood. Why would your parents deny you of something? It's either because it wasn't good for you, you weren't ready for it, or quite frankly, it's just a no. Because I said so. You know, we all hated that. But bringing it back to God, God would never give you anything that would destroy you. God would never give you anything that you are not ready for. God would never give you anything that would harm or hurt you. So you have to realize and accept that no is an answer. Not now. Later. Wait. Just as much as we hate to hear the word no, wait is probably the second most hated word of all time. We don't like to wait either. So why would God tell us to wait? Somewhat similar to why He would tell us no. However, the difference is waiting is not a denial, it's a delay. Sometimes God will temporarily put things on pause or hold or kind of withhold what we've been praying for a while just so we can get ourselves together. Because in those cases, we're not ready for what we prayed for. Some of us may be praying for more money. Well, how are you handling your finances now? God is more than ready to bless you financially. However, He's not going to give you anything you're not ready for. If you are a spender and you spend and spend and spend, He's not going to give you millions so you can just blow it. Some of us are praying for marriage. Are you really ready for marriage? So again, God will put things on pause for a moment so that you can get yourself together. Or rather, he will put things on pause so that you will be able to allow him to prepare you for what you've been praying for. So in this case, God is waiting on you, not the other way around. So keeping those points in mind and realizing that yes is not the only answer, do our prayers really go unanswered? And I know some of you may be wondering, well, how can I tell the difference between God telling me no and God telling me to wait? That is a topic that I may teach down the road, how to recognize God's voice, how to recognize when he speaks to you. But I can promise you one thing. As you develop your prayer life, as you spend more time with him and in his presence, you will not have a problem hearing God's voice. It is something that you will have to learn. It may take you a bit. However, a personal tip, don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. I'm telling you from experience, do not overthink it. However, I can promise you that the more you spend time with God, the more you get to know his ways, the more you spend time in his word, hearing God's voice will not be an issue for you. So your assignment for today, think back on an unanswered prayer or what you deem to be unanswered and see if it falls into either the no category or the wait category. Now, next week, I will discuss another reason why our prayers may be unanswered. And that is our persistence in prayer. And I'll touch on that next week. But for now, again, go back to your unanswered prayer and see whether it was a no or a wait. That's all I have today. If this video has been a blessing to you, please click the like button below. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at @TheCrystalNicoleWright. Follow me on Facebook at @TheCrystalNicoleWright. And I'll see you guys next week.